Hey, Brian Sullivan, founder of Precise Selling with your weekly video tip. All right, I took a couple weeks off because, like the great band Chicago says, everybody needs a little time away. Here I am. All right, and so what's the objective this week? Question for you. Have you ever had somebody, a potential prospect or maybe a client, who really enjoyed your presentation? Things were going so good, you go for the big fat close and they say, hey, listen, I really liked your solution, but I don't make all the decisions. In fact, I've got a meeting coming up on Monday with the rest of the team, and so why don't you follow up with me maybe mid to late next week? Now, no doubt you've heard that. We all hear this. Now, if you think about what the average or below average sales rep does at this point, they'll usually say, okay, no problem. When should I follow up? And then they get a nice little appointment in the calendar, and maybe they follow up, and then they hope and pray that they get the order. It's not the way to do it. There's a few steps on the way for you to meet more people who are going to be involved in your decision-making process. And this will prevent that dreaded feeling you get when you think everything's going great, and there was somebody in some back room who sold you down the river and decided you weren't the best partner. Step number one, anytime someone says, I've got a meeting with my team, follow up at a later date. I want you first to try to get in the meeting. So how do you do it without sounding pushy? It's really simple. I would say this. Hey, I'm curious, would it be helpful for you if I make myself available for that meeting? Should any questions come up? So the question is, how often would you get in that meeting if you don't ask to be in the meeting? So set that expectation every time you hear it. Ask to get in the meeting. Now, I don't know what percentage of the time you're actually going to get in there, but I know what percentage of the time you won't get in there if you don't ask to be in there. And you could do it in that nice way. Hey, I was wondering, would it be helpful for you to make myself available? Step number one. Okay. Now, let's assume it's one of those examples where they say, hey, Brian, listen, let me just handle it from here. You know, we've got a tight agenda, but, I'll talk to you later next week. What do you do from here? Well, the average rep says, okay, I'll call next week. No, you're not done yet. What I want you to do is get what I call the big fat yes out of the person in front of you. So I would say something like this. Hey, no problem, Sue. Understand if you got a tight agenda. Hey, I'm curious. We talked about a lot. Based on what we discussed today, do you think it would be a wise decision for you to move forward with my company? Now, why do you think I'm asking that question? Because if she comes back and says something, well, no, I think it's pretty good. Does Monday's meeting even matter? And the answer is no, because this person, Sue, is not sold yet. So you've got to get her to commit and say yes. So let's assume she says, no, yeah, I really like it. Follow it with a question that gets her to sell herself. Would be something like this. Hey, we talked about a lot, Sue. Why do you think it would make sense to move forward with us? Because what she's going to do is start thinking of the reasons why your partnership would be good. But also what she's doing is she's practicing her presentation. She just doesn't know it. And of course, that allows you to massage it and tweak it. So if she does go in alone on Monday, she's going to be better prepared to represent you. Now, next big mistake salespeople make, they don't even know who's going to be in that meeting because they never ask. So I want you to follow with the question. Sue, you'd mentioned some other people on your team. I'm curious who's going to be in that meeting and what are their roles? It is a vital part of the sales process. You might have finance in there. You might have operations. You might have safety. You want to get their names because the information you will then give Sue will apply not only to what Sue thinks is important, but other people in that room. So then supply that information. You're prepping her to represent you in a great way. And then what you want to do from here is ask again. I find a lot of times they don't really want to represent you and deliver your presentation. And so if you stay in the game and have this nice dialogue, sometimes asking a second time, they'll say, all right, Brian, you can come in, but I can't guarantee a lot of time. No worries, Sue. I'm here to help you through the process. And so it's a great way to turn your prospect, your client, who you do have a good relationship with, and they do like you and like your solution. You can turn them into a coach, prepare them to be champions on Monday, but only after you tried to get in that meeting, because who's a better champion than you? You'll deliver the presentation better than everybody, but those times we're you can't get it done. Let's make Sue ready to be precise. So, I hope you enjoyed this week's tip. We'll see you next week. Precise selling.